friends from Kings Island. I'm so excited to be here. I've wanted to visit since 2020 when, because of my surgery, I had open heart surgery in October 2020. I was planning on coming here for one of their Halloween haunts. That didn't happen, obviously, and now about a year and a half, almost 2 years later, I'm finally here, and they're celebrating their 50th. So I invite you to come along. There's a whole lot of coasters and a whole lot to see. Let's go. As you can see, and if you've watched my other videos, you know that this entrance, the International Street, I believe it's called, bears a striking resemblance to King's Dominion. However, this one, I don't know, it just... something about it, especially way back there, you can see where you enter. There is a bit of a reveal that reminds me a little of like Disneyland, where you get onto Main Street and then there's a castle. Here it's just boom, it hits you. And this is where they're doing that night show. They have a spectacular 50th night show from what I can tell on YouTube. Unique coaster wise, I believe this park has 13 that I can get on. There's one other one that I believe you need a child to ride with you, and I think that's the case at all the different Cedar fairs that I've been to. They've had at least one. I almost tripped. I almost died right there. So right now, I'm starting in the Planet Snoopy area, which I believe was like the land of Hanna-Barbera a long time ago. I think our first stop is going to be the Woodstock Express. And here we are. And I don't believe we're getting much B-roll out of this one, but I think you guys know it's a family-style wooden coaster. Just got done with Woodstock Express, and apparently there's like a mobile quiz type of thing that they're doing. And they're giving away Squishmallows. How awesome. Further on down towards our next destination, there's an entire location dedicated to this blue ice cream that I've heard a lot about. I believe it's just vanilla dyed blue. I tried something like that over at Holiday World. I have no idea if the one here is any different. So that's it for the kiddie coasters. Got those out of the way real quick. Well, not so quick. It took about like 45 minutes to an hour, somewhere around there. I see a map posted over here. I just kind of want to show you the layout of the park real quick because it does borrow some sort of aspects from Disney, which I always like to make little connections to. So here's kind of the layout of the park. So you enter, there's the reveal, and there's the Eiffel Tower. So instead of doing kind of like the classic hub and spoke that Disney does, they instead kind of did like a 4-leaf clover coming out. If you ignore like the water park that's here, and then over there Area 72, which I believe used to be like a safari style thing, but instead they had 4 lands coming out with the Eiffel Tower as a center, and you can kind of picture the stem of that 4-leaf clover being all the fountains in the middle. Last thing I wanted to mention before we start going on the bigger rides is that in the kiddie area you need a child with you in order to go on the Great Pumpkin Coaster. You need I've just put my backpack on the platform with the Great Aerial Chase or whatever that one was called, and then for Woodstock Express the backpack actually rode with me. Anyway, next up, Diamondback.
It's faster, it's sleeker, it's a better with no way cheaper. It's Diamondback. Have fun, enjoy your ride.
I don't know if I've been on a ride with more like cumulative sustained airtime than Diamondback. That was a phenomenal coaster. Wow. In terms of like airtime, I think it tops all of these B&Ms that I've been on before. Seriously. It doesn't spend any time doing anything crazy with banking and helixes or nothing. And then to top it off, it has that cool splashdown effect at the very end. That was, oh man, that really picked up my day because, not for nothing, starting my day and trying to get those kiddies out of the way, I don't think that was the greatest way to start this adventure. So, I don't know, lesson learned. Just down the pathway here from Diamondback is Mystic Timbers. It looks like it has some pretty cool theming. See like a beat up car, the Miami River Lumber Company, interesting. All right, well, I guess there's nothing left to do but head on in. Mystic Timbers, wow. I don't even know what just, like, it was hard to process all of that. That was fast. There was a whole lot of turning, a lot of tight turns. Decent amount of laterals, decent amount of ejector. So much so that my neck, I felt like I was flying all around. It was really intense. I sat in row 11. And also for Diamondback, I forgot to mention, I sat in the very back. And also, just a point for the backpack stuff, I had to put my stuff all in a locker for this one. It's not as like strict as like say El Toro Jersey Devil Coaster, where like you have to have empty pockets and they check. But I did have to put my backpack in there. There's no cubbies up there, whereas at Diamondback there were cubbies. Do you want to say hi? The other thing I forgot to mention though is that the lift hill was like oddly like it wasn't just one continuous speed. It like slowly went up, then it kind of went the pace that I figured it should go, and then it stops right before you actually get to the first drop. One cool thing about Mystic Timbers, and I don't quite fully understand, is it's the story. It's very creepy when you first come in. It looks like it's some abandoned place, and then there's nothing in the queue, but then afterwards, when you're on the train and you're coming back into the station, then all of a sudden there's like a big reveal. And I saw vines everywhere, and it made me think of Verbolten at Busch Gardens Williamsburg, but it's not quite that, but it's similar. Found a decent enough view to share with you the splashdown effect here at the end of Diamondback. It's pretty cool. I wish you could get a little bit closer like you can with Griffin at Busch Gardens Williamsburg, but there it is. And speaking of Diamondback, I just realized, and can anybody answer for me, why the seats are the way they are? Because it's like 2 on the inside and then just behind it 2 on the outside. I've only seen that one other time, and that was with Behemoth at Canada's Wonderland. I have no idea if it's like a year thing, was it prototype type of thing? Because I think the most popular one is just 4 in a row, right? So now I think it's time to get this out of the way. This will be my 3rd backlot stunt coaster after going on the ones in Canada's Wonderland and King's Dominion. So that's definitely a one and done for me. I'm surprised they make such an effort to de-paramount the parks, and yet those kind of stick around. I wonder if there is a plan to eventually replace them. But this was the first time I even heard like Flight of the Valkyries and like the the helicopter scene. That's the first time I've seen any of that. I didn't know that was a thing. I've heard about it, seen it in videos, but all right. I don't know what kind of views I'm going to be able to get of this one, but here we go.
And all throughout the woods of Rivertown, say hello to Diamondback, Mystic Timbers, Backlot Stunt Coaster, and so much.
So it's kind of that awkward time of day where sunglasses, I can't see the screens, and so hello, tired eyes for now, apologies, but let's talk about the beast. It's long, it's very long, and I think it was the longest at some point. It was designed all in-house by people who were working here back in the 70s. I think it opened in like the late 70s. And they got some tips from John C. Allen, who was responsible and came out of retirement for Racer, but just, offered advice for this one. But man, it really holds up. I am shocked at how good of a ride that was. I'm sure that they made a lot of changes over the years. It's really well known for all of its tunnels, especially my favorite part at the end was the double helix. That was just intense. The laterals it was pulling was chef's kiss. So I stopped for some pizza towards the front of the park and decided, you know what, let's check out this action zone. And indeed, I think this looks completely different than the rest of the park here. I'm going to start heading over to, what is that called? Vertigo back there. So this is like one of those Vekoma inverted boomerangs. I'm not sure if I've been on one of these before. I think so, but it's kind of weird. Like some of the seats kind of face each other. I'm not a fan of that. Well, my mistake. It's not called Vertigo. It's in Vertigo, I guess, because it's inverted. The line is, it is pretty long. All right, I think that was very much a one and done for me. A lot of head banging. The restraints are kind of awkward, and just overall, it was a time. All right, next up is the Bat, which, correct me if I'm wrong, there was another iteration of this that quickly closed, like a prototype version. Interesting, I guess. It was very short for what it was. It's always cool to go on one of those old aero suspended coasters, but there was one point where I did make like the lemon face, like on the helix. I was shocked that was actually pulling some decent forces. And now it's time for one of the ones that I've been real excited for. I think one of the longest inverted coasters in the world here, if not the Banshee. I don't even know what just happened. That was fast. So many inversions. There was like not a pretzel loop, but like a pretzel roll, if you will. But that thing was fast, long, and I still don't know what even just happened. Like, there was a 0G roll, but it happened while there was braking, and so it was just a little disorienting. Holy smokes, that was amazing. Huh. That one impressed me just because it was so unexpected. I've been on so many different B&M inverteds, and that just blew everything else. Like Raptor, Great Bear, Batman the Ride, Talon. Like, I don't know any of them that compare to this in any sort of way. This one is just on a completely different scale than the others. Jeez. Came back to International Street, and there's a band playing. And if I remember right, each one of their costumes is themed to one of the different coasters, which is pretty cool. Here's the Eiffel Tower. I haven't given you guys enough views of this. And the line to get on that, unfortunately, is pretty ridiculous. I think we're going to keep exploring. Like, that Adventure Zone looked like any other Cedar Fair park, but the rest of it is really nice. That's not to say that, I don't like how, say, King's Dominion or Cedar Point are laid out. But this one just has a little more character to it, if you understand. Like, that's what I'm going for. I don't mean to be mean. As I'm walking by, they have some sort of gardens laid out with a bunch of signs about the history of the park, which is awesome. Dedicated space for the history of a park. Imagine that. But from there, we're going to head on over this way. I believe our next stop is Adventure Express. Off in the distance back there, I clearly see the show building for Flight of Fear, which means I believe Adventure Express is somewhere this way. So in quick succession, I was able to do Adventure Express, which was a lot of fun. The way that it starts off and ends is like something that I haven't seen before, especially for an Arrow mine train of all things. It was a lot of fun. And then Racer, which had little to no wait, I think that one's been here since the park opened. And what's really cool is that it is a proper like mirrored layout, but there's no like crisscrossing. Like, it's not quite... Let's say that they're very similar, only mirrored, unlike, say, Lightning Racer, where the two tracks interweave and stuff, and you see who you're racing against a couple times. So this one is, like, super straightforward, and I think it's one of the last things that John C. Allen designed. And I have to show off a little bit of this last area that we're in, which is called Coney Mall, which is supposed to harken back to, say, Coney Island, a park that existed prior to them picking up everything and moving it to Kings Island. And I believe even a lot of these trees and things were transplanted from there. So that's pretty cool. The first drop to Racer is right here going into the last area. I don't think there's any real views. I always like to look for like B-roll spots and stuff, but before heading on in there, I'm going to take one last look. So this Rivertown area, it's got the Miami Valley Railroad and a lot of other stuff that says Miami River, I think was the other one. But yeah, we're still exploring back here, kind of looking for a nice spot to get a view of Racer. Appreciate that ride for its history. So as I'm learning the layout of the park, over there is Racer. Over here is a flat ride that I've been enjoying a lot, is a Huss Troika. What are they calling it? Shake, rattle, and roll. And then just beyond that is something that I'm really hoping to get a night ride on, and that's the Beast. Now, I haven't been on anything like this. This is Windseeker. I think you all know kind of what it does. It's going to go up and spin and stuff, and it's just the old school version of those Star Screamers or Sky Screamers that we've seen before. But I see maybe a couple places where I can get a shot of Racer here. So I had some trouble there, huh? They did. Red Racer came out, Blue Racer came out, they were alone, did the track, then Red Racer did the track twice. I waited around long enough before I was like, you know what? I'll be back tomorrow, maybe I can grab something else, but quick little behind the scenes. Sometimes I shoot my B-roll at other times because sometimes I run out of time and I just want to do the actual rides, and the vlogs get a little less priority. But right there, like, I would have loved to have gotten some, vertical videos for like Instagram, TikTok. I would love to get some photos, but unfortunately, is it the timing of them coming off the lift hill differing. Like, is that something that they planned? Did they dispatch them at a different time? Are their lift hills different? I don't know. Either way, Racer, like classic racing roller coaster. I don't know how it compares to Racer 75 because that one wasn't racing down when I did it. But next up, finally, the last area, Area 72, I believe. I guess 72 because that's the year that the park opened, right? So this is a cool little area here. That's Flight of Fear right there. And then way back there, there's the lift hill first drop for Orion. Area 72, eh? And then I guess just a little food station here. Oh, and I haven't pointed out, they have a bunch of food and stuff for the 50th. Different items, different stuff. It was pretty cool. I'm looking forward to checking some of that out. Maybe not today because it's been only coasters and some of that weird pizza. I can't remember if I even mentioned it, but I did have La Rosa's pizza or whatever that's up at the front. It was alright. It was kind of theme park pizza, but apparently it was the first time at this park that pizza was served at an amusement park. So I just did a little double check since the rides were so close. Both of these require me to put a backpack and my camera in the lockers that are over here on the opposite side of the entrance to Flight of Fear. So I guess when I see you guys again, it'll be number 299, Flight of Fear, and credit number 300, Orion. I'll see you real soon. All right, and that's it, just like that. Got on Flight of Fear real quick. It's Flight of Fear. That's my second Flight of Fear, and I think it shares similarities with Joker Jinx. It is what it is. And then behind me, Orion, lucky number 300, I guess. 300th credit, which is an awesome feeling to, keep track for fun. Just kind of, I don't know, but man, fun ride. I felt like I've heard that the drop is 300, but the lift isn't. But still, 300 foot drop for the 300th credit felt like a good fit. And the lighting package is excellent. There it goes behind me. Let's turn this around. Can't really get too much B-roll unless I have a zoom lens, and then we won't see much. But with what I've got going on here right now, hopefully you guys can see the lighting package, which is is really nice. But man, this thing has speed and a ton of air. Not too many other forces going on in those turns there because they're not that tight. But otherwise, this was a heck of a ride and a very worthy 300. I thought I was going to start that. Hang on. That was a lot of people screaming on that swing. So there's only a half hour left. So I have two things I really want to do. One, night ride on the Beast. It's pitch black now, basically. And then at 10, the fireworks. So 9:30. This day went by so quick. And that happens when you're trying to ride every coaster in the park. Oh man, but I'm still going. We're gonna make this. So unfortunately, I missed the Beast by a few minutes. I got some wrong intel. It closes around 9:40 or 25 minutes before the show starts. Just barely missed it. So instead, we're waiting for the fireworks show that's new for the 50th. I've seen it on YouTube. It looked amazing. I'm so ready to see it in person. I got to ride every coaster that's here, except for the Great Pumpkin Coaster. Orion was a great 300th coaster, a solid gig of. The coasters here have been really nice, and I didn't think much of them because they kind of, I think, get overshadowed by other coasters that are out there. But I'm going to leave you guys here. You won't say goodbye from me after the fireworks. We're going to just keep it going all the way out. So for now, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.
Hi, my name is Lyric.
Hi, my name is Aaliyah.
And we're making our own adventure.
Bye!